If you're thinking about moving to San Jose and want a neighborhood with historic homes, mature trees, and easy access to downtown, this is one you'll definitely want to know about. So we're starting driving away from downtown, and up here on the right in a minute, we will be driving past the SAP Center, which is the home of the San Jose Sharks and one of the main landmarks in downtown San Jose. From here, we'll be heading just a few minutes away to Shasta Hanchett Park. It's a neighborhood that feels completely different from the newer developments you'll find throughout the Bay Area. It has beautiful architecture, a really central location, and more history than you would ever guess just by driving through it. So here's the SAP Center off on our right. And then we'll head up a little ways. And once we pass under this bridge up here, we are driving down the Alameda, which connects downtown San Jose with Santa Clara. This is one of the things that makes this area so convenient. You're close to downtown, the SAP Center, and the station, while also having an easy route towards Santa Clara and the rest of the South Bay. The Alameda itself, it also has restaurants, coffee shops, and smaller local businesses, so you don't necessarily have to head all the way into downtown every time you want to grab something nearby. Coming up, you're going to see Whole Foods off on the right, which is a great everyday convenience for people living in this area. You're also not far from downtown San Jose, the Rose Garden, Santa Clara University, and several of the major roads and transit options that connect you to the rest of Silicon Valley. As soon as we turn off the Alameda up ahead, the neighborhood becomes much quieter though. A little bit of history behind this road too is that it was once part of El Camino Real, and hundreds of willow trees were planted along the route in the late 1700s to create a shaded walkway to Mission Santa Clara. That's actually where the name Alameda comes from. It means a tree-lined walkway. So up here, you're going to be seeing more of those food and activity options that I mentioned before, whether it's a Pilates studio up on our right, something like a U-Haul, or something as quick and easy as a fast food restaurant. There's quite a few options in this neighborhood, making it really easy and convenient. And this we're turning into is Shasta Hanchett Park. The first thing that you'll probably notice is how established it feels. You can see there's these huge mature trees, wide streets, and homes that all really have their own character. It feels peaceful and residential, but you're still right in the middle of everything. That combination is a big part of the appeal. You can live close to downtown without necessarily feeling like you're living directly in a busy downtown environment. And here's something you would never guess from looking at it today. This neighborhood was actually built on top of an old racetrack and fairground. Before any of these homes were here, the area was known as Agricultural Park. It had horse racing, bicycle racing, baseball fields, picnic areas, livestock fairs, exhibitions, and even traveling circuses. It was basically one of San Jose's main entertainment areas. Then, in the early 1900s, a man named Lewis Hanchett purchased the property and began developing it into a residential neighborhood. Hanchett also owned San Jose's trolley system, so the location was very intentional. He could create a neighborhood along the trolley line and make it easy for residents to travel into the city. In a way, this was an early version of a transit-oriented community. And that central location is still one of the neighborhood's biggest benefits today. For someone relocating to San Jose, this area could be a good fit if you work downtown, you need access to Diridon Station, or want to be positioned between San Jose and Santa Clara. You're also close to restaurants and events downtown like we've shown earlier in the video, but you can come home to a much quieter, more traditional residential neighborhood. It's especially appealing for someone who likes being near activity but doesn't necessarily want to live in a condo or a newer high density development. So, the homes here are another major reason why people are drawn to this neighborhood. Take a look at this home here. Gorgeous. Shasta Hanchett Park is known for its Craftsman architecture, although you'll see some other early 20th century styles mixed in as we drive through. Most of these homes were built during the 1910s and 1920s, and they weren't created as one large group of identical houses. Buyers would purchase the lot and hire an architect to design their homes, while still following the neighborhood's overall design standards. That's why the houses feel connected, but they don't all look the same. You'll see wide front porches, lower roof lines, exposed beams, original wood details, and a lot more personality than you usually find in a newer development. Of course, now, if you're relocating here, there are also some practical things to consider with homes of this age. So, older homes, they can have incredible charm, but you'll want to pay attention to things like the electrical system, plumbing, foundation, insulation, and whether major updates have already been completed. You may find a beautifully renovated home, or you may find one that still has a lot of its original features and needs some work. That's part of why two homes on the same street can feel very different inside, even when they were built around the same time. So, this probably isn't the neighborhood for someone whose top priority is brand new construction and completely modern floor plans. But if you love historic architecture, character, and homes that don't feel cookie cutter, this area truly has a lot to offer. Another interesting part of the neighborhood is that the streets were laid out by John McLaren, who is best known for his work on Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. You can see how much attention was given to the overall streetscape. One detail to watch for is the placement of the utility poles. Instead of putting them directly along the front sidewalks, many were placed behind the homes or in the alleys. That keeps the streets and sidewalks feeling more open and puts more of the focus on the homes and the tree canopy. It's a really small detail, but it contributes to the way the entire neighborhood feels when you're walking or driving through it. You can totally tell in this video as we drive through. Living here would give you a pretty unique mix of lifestyles. You have a neighborhood that feels historic and residential, but you're close to sports, concerts, and events at the SAP Center. You can get into downtown San Jose for restaurants, nightlife, and local events, or head towards downtown Santa Clara for more shopping, dining, and employment centers. You also have access to Diridon Station, which is valuable for anyone who plans to use Caltrain or public transportation rather than driving everywhere. Also, for outdoor space, the Rose Garden is nearby and it's one of the most recognizable parks in San Jose. So, although this neighborhood itself is mostly residential, you're not isolated from the places you would use in your everyday life. I wouldn't describe every part of San Jose as traditionally walkable, so it's important to look at walkability neighborhood by neighborhood. Here, your exact location within Shasta Hanchett Park will make a difference. Some homes are closer to the Alameda and its businesses, while others are tucked further into the residential areas. You'll still probably want to use a car for many errands, but having restaurants, groceries, downtown, and transit options nearby can make daily life much more convenient. This could also be a good option for someone who wants to be relatively central instead of living further south and having a longer trip every time they want to attend an event or go downtown. Think of how cool it would be to walk to a concert or Sharks game at the SAP Center from here. A big reason the neighborhood has maintained this look is that Shasta Hanchett Park is a designated historic conservation area. That means that there are guidelines intended to preserve the neighborhood's architectural character. Homes can still be updated, but the major changes have to take the original style and the surrounding neighborhood into consideration. For a buyer, that can be a positive because it helps protect what makes the area special. But it's also something to understand before purchasing, especially if your goal is to completely redesign, significantly expand, or replace an older home. So, who would I recommend this neighborhood to? Shasta Hanchett Park could be a great fit for someone who wants a single family home with real architectural character while still being close to downtown San Jose. It could also work well for someone commuting by train, working in downtown San Jose or Santa Clara, or simply wanting a more central location in the South Bay. It's a neighborhood for someone who appreciates mature trees, front porches, older homes, and streets where every home looks a little different. On the other hand, if your priorities are brand new construction, large modern floor plans, and fewer maintenance concerns, you might prefer one of the newer developments somewhere else in San Jose. It really just depends on what you want your everyday life to look like. Coming up here in a second in the video is 1194 Martin Avenue. This is a noteworthy home because it sold for $3.2 million back in April of 2025. So take a look at it. It's right up here on the corner, and you can see what is so special about some of these homes in this neighborhood. Really gorgeous from the front and shows the incredible architectural design in this area. Now, from a real estate perspective, this neighborhood and neighborhoods like this, they're difficult to recreate. You can build a new home with Craftsman inspired finishes, but you cannot instantly create a neighborhood with more than 100 years of history, mature landscaping, and blocks of individually designed homes. There's also a limited supply of this type of housing in such a central location. That combination of location, architecture, and scarcity is a major part of what keeps buyers interested in neighborhoods like the Shasta Hanchett Park. You're not just purchasing the house itself, you're also choosing the setting, the history, and the lifestyle surrounding it. So, that is Shasta Hanchett Park. It's one of San Jose's most historic and distinctive neighborhoods. It gives you character, a central location, and convenient access to downtown, Santa Clara, public transportation, and many of the places people move to San Jose to be near. For more videos about what it's actually like to live in San Jose, including neighborhood tours, relocation tips, and places to explore around the city, make sure you subscribe. And if you're considering a move to San Jose but aren't sure which neighborhood fits your lifestyle, please reach out. I'd love to help you compare your options and find the area that feels right for you. I'm Jackie. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you in the next video.